fructose corn syrup in it?
I think so.
See, it says high fructose corn syrup. So I'm going to crack open this Pepsi with high fructose corn syrup, and you could finish explaining. Well, I actually, hang on. As soon as I hit the start button, it starts playing an ad because I'm monitoring the external. All right, welcome to Lock and Load and our little Monday, man the fuck up Monday, because it's time for our first inaugural apocalypse news broadcast, and we're going to talk about some of the events that's happening around the world. So before we get into it, you were saying that you're arguing about in the lobby about GMO corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup. And I'm just pointing.
Well, corn, just basically GMO corn, planting GMO corn. And,
yeah.
The whole argument there, which is a major argument in this country.
I saw the X-Files. I actually worked on the X-Files, and this whole thing was in a cornfield. I'm assuming that was all GMO corn in the X-Files. The movie.
Well, it's possible it wasn't. We still sell both types in the country. Basically, GMO is just that. It's altered to where it has some bug resistance to it. It's also, some of it is tolerant to Roundup herbicide, so that it's a little cheaper method of. But I don't agree with using Roundup corn and Roundup soybeans to keep following. Every now and then, you still need to have some soil applied herbicides.
Orange People said corn syrup makes great gun lube. What if you can't sell your corn, you could make gun lube with it after the shit hits the fan, right?
Stuff made out of corn. Corn syrup isn't the only thing that corn is used for.
Right. Okay. Well, seems to taste good in my Pepsi. Anyway, so just clearing up some stuff from the off-air after chat last night with Biker Bob, G-Webs, and Hashinazi. I just wanted to say that while they were all telling me that there's no way that a Israeli Arrow 2 missile could shoot down a surface-to-air missile being aimed at like an airplane, while they were telling me it couldn't be done because the surface-to-air missile is tracking an airplane, so it's not moving in a straight line. It's tracking a moving object, so there's no way you can actually, because it's impossible. While they were telling me it couldn't be done, Israel was actually doing it, and then Russia called the Israeli ambassador to complain because they basically bombed a North Korean shipment that was transshipped in Syria and then being convoyed over to Hezbollah and Lebanon. So Israeli bombed that, and Syrian air defense shot up a missile at an Israeli jet who shot down the missile with an Arrow missile, and then Russia is complaining because they don't like people bombing their friend Syria. Anyway, hi B Diddy, 808. 808 must be from Hawaii. That's our area code. So I was reading Debka, and so as far as what's happening over there in Israel, Israel, from what I've been able to read on the static on the internet, I haven't seen it on cable news at all, but Russia's all pissed that Israeli Air Force jets bombed a Syrian convoy, and apparently it blew up right next to some Russian troops. So, and then I saw another. This is news over the internet. I don't know if it's, I'm not vouching for its accuracy. I wasn't there, but if you believe stuff on the internet, then Israel went in and blew up a bunch of Syrian, radar, aircraft radar stations after Russia told them not to do it. So, but I guess if Russia can draw a red line that people can ignore too. So I don't think they used F-35s. It didn't say what kind of jet they do. You know, I have no idea what they used. Like I said, I wasn't there. So, but I did. My gas mask did arrive. My U.S. military gas mask. I'll do a video tomorrow, I think, showing it off. And I got off Sportsman's Guide on sale a couple weeks back, and I ordered over the weekend. I ordered 2 NATO 40 millimeter NATO gas mask replacement filter, spare filters, because I figure it just came with one, and that won't be enough if shit hits the fan. And you know, whether it's North Korea launching missiles or the debt bubble going insane, they didn't last week they didn't raise the debt ceiling, so they've got to do all kinds of gymnastic tricks with the finances, just one government department lending money to another government department so they could have enough money to do it. I mean, basically, the problem is we're $20 trillion in national debt, and if they filled up B-52s with $100 bills and flew over New York, they could literally bury the Statue of Liberty in $100 bills with our national debt. That's how much money they owe. And the world is nearing $2 quadrillion in debt. And if everybody paid that off, if all the governments decided, we're going to stop spending money and just pay it all off, and everybody paid off their mortgage and their credit cards, then there's not enough money in circulation to pay for it. There wouldn't be anything left. There'd be no money. They've borrowed more money than actually exists, because that's how they create money. But I won't go into that circle again. Well, they're keeping. UP Gardner says Israel should stay out of Syria. Well, if they're transshipping North Korean missiles to Hezbollah, that's what they want. They want nuclear, technology and North Korean missiles in Hezbollah, and Israel isn't going to allow that, and I don't blame them. And hey, personally, I'm a Zionist. You may think Zionist people that support Israel are dumb or smart, but I can't speak for every other person that supports Israel. But I'm trigger happy, and if you fuck with me, or fuck with Israel, you're fucking with me. So I don't know if Russia's going to do anything about it, but other than call in the Israeli ambassador twice in Moscow to complain about it. But so these are the problems that we just seem to be edging closer and closer and closer to, something bad happening. Besides just GMO corn, so that actually became a big issue on the island, not corn, but I mean, like Hawaii has like the rainbow papaya. That's a genetically modified papaya that it fights the ringworm virus, which is, killed a lot of papaya grows. But some people don't like that, and because they do big plants, and actually, I think one of my letters to the editor got printed about that. Justice is in the papaya of the beholder, or something, because somebody chopped down a bunch of papaya trees that were GMO on a farmer's land. And the thing was, there's a lot of internet activists over that stuff, but the problem was the GMO papayas taste like crap. and just the regular non-GMO papayas taste great, but they're susceptible to, the ringworm virus. And that farm where they had like acres and acres of these genetically modified papayas is right on the east tip of Hawaii, surrounded by a bunch of organic farms. So some organic farmer got pissed because you go to a lot of trouble, 3 years to get certified, organic and all that. And then somebody just brings in a bunch of shit that's going to cross-pollinate everything that you own. So every time the wind blows, which is like every day on the east tip of Hawaii. But no, I'm not BB. UP. I think he's in China right now. He just visited Russia too. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm doing I don't know if anybody else is big into prepping. It was funny. I was on whose chat was it? I can't remember. This is what happens when. Anyway, trying to remember everything from every other chat that I've done recently, and okay, I'm having a brain fart, so somebody else take over for a minute. I've got two great panelists. I've got from the U.S. Marines. I've got Squibload, who's with us for brief time. Can you tell if there's? Would you be able to tell if there's any, unusual Air Force activity from Michigan there? I know you're near an air base, but
no, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't see anything over here that would make us think anything different. But I did look into this issue here with the missile being fired and shot down, and I read the account of it, and it's absolutely plausible. So what you had was on the 17th, you had 4 Israeli aircraft going to attack a target in Syria, and the Syrian Air Defense Force shot some of its surface-to-air missiles at the aircraft. Now, the surface-to-air missiles are old Soviet surface-to-air missiles from the 60s that, they've been upgraded over time and whatnot, but it's older technology. It works, but it's older technology. The missiles lost their radar lock on the aircraft, and one of them was more or less kind of flying all out of control. And it was, these missiles have got a long range. I believe it's, what did it say, 56 miles? Let's see here. Range was...
The SAM-5?
Yeah, the SA-5. What was the range on this? Oh, great. Now I can't find it. Well, anyhow, they're very long-range missiles. So they were concerned that the missile was going to come down in a populated area in Israel. So they shot it down with a modern Israeli surface-to-air missile that travels at 9 times the speed of sound. It didn't have any problem reaching it. This is no different than when we were shooting down Scuds with Patriots in the Gulf War. So that's all it really was a surface-to-air missile went out of control and was intercepted by a more advanced surface-to-air missile. They also had 2 other missiles that were fired, and they landed in Israel, but they didn't land in a populated area. They when they lose contact with their target, they more or less just go out of control. So
the SAM-5s?
So you had the SA-5s, yes. So you had the new Arrow missile take out the old SA-5 missile is what you had.
The Arrow 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Yeah. So it's just a surface-to-air versus a surface-to-air. It's entirely plausible, especially with you've got one that travels so much faster than the other.
Right. And that whole argument, we had started arguing about the F35 off air, and it was one of those crazy off air after chat late night arguments, and so it was fun. So I started trying to bone up on the F35, and basically I just found out some interesting facts. Like, I think the main problem is that they were trying to make it do everything, and like the Marines have the Hawker Harrier, which I guess the British used in the Falklands, to great effect, but because they could get it there, and the problem was that the Hawker Harrier is a pretty old jet, and the main thing is it's subsonic. It doesn't have supersonic capabilities.
HVS.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Well, the old one did. The ones the British have must be old.
Yeah, no, the old one didn't. We made one that was supersonic and found out it was really it really didn't help much. We have subsonic and supersonic variants of it, and And Hawker later became British Aerospace, and we produced them here. McDonnell Douglas produced them here, and McDonnell Douglas got bought by Boeing. So the Harriers that we have are slightly different than the British ones, but a lot of stuff. I mean, they use the Rolls-Royce engine, and they've got the vectored thrust and all that.
The reason that Boeing bought them was because they're designed for the next generation Joint Strike Fighter was rejected, and the contest was between Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and Lockheed Martin won. And basically Lockheed Martin has and it has the F-35 design has like some kind of lift fan to a control to make it, give it vertical takeoff capabilities, and it's like the Navy wanted a fighter with 2 engines because if one has a problem, then they're sitting over the ocean, in the middle of nowhere, so they like to have more than one jet. But the Marines and the Air Force don't really need that because they're always over land, and if they bail out, they don't have to swim.
for the vertical or short takeoff and landing, having twin engines creates a lot of problems with the airframe as far as having the vectored thrust needed to do it. Otherwise, the Marines would probably require 2 engines because they do operate off of ships. And the Navy's had to gradually phase out the single engine aircraft and phase in 2, or in some cases 3 engine aircraft. And it is a safety thing. But when you have 2 smaller engines and a combining gearbox, like on a helicopter, or you've got 2 smaller jet engines, you don't necessarily have the power of one big honking engine. But you ask somebody who loses an engine over water what they'd rather have, they'll tell you they want 2 engines. So yeah, they tried to use common parts in the airframe. If you can share parts between branches of service, you can lower the overall cost.
That was the whole idea of the F-35. They figured, they thought the F-22 Raptor cost so much money that they would save money by building an F-35, and they wanted to give it vertical takeoff capabilities for the Marines, and they wanted to have 2 engine version for the Navy, and they wanted to have and it was, I guess it just didn't do everything. But I think the point is that when the Air Force General who wrote the F-35 Joint Concurrency report, he basically said everything that was wrong with it, and it was a monster list of shit that was wrong with it. And and he was also in charge of putting together the training program of the pilots who would be training all the other pilots. I don't know what they call that, but. And the thing is, he wrote that report like I think 20 years ago, and so I guess they've had 20 years to work on it, and they fixed some of it, I guess, or they made it better. I assume they didn't just not fix anything, but they had billions of dollars to throw at it, and they're working on it, I guess, but our taxpayer dollars at work making that thing work, and it's got a lot of problems. At least it used to when they wrote the report, but I'm just assuming. Over time. Hey, UP Gardner, I'm just going to say this about Israel. They've got nowhere to run to and nowhere to hide, So if somebody wants to transship North Korean nuclear missiles to Hezbollah, Israel will bomb them in anywhere. They can get a lock on it. They got nowhere to run to, So that's all I have to say about that. Anyway, but I don't think Israel and Russia are going to get into it. But I hope not, But there's a lot of stuff happening. Singapore market opened up today, and Singapore companies owe $24 billion in corporate debt, and that they don't have the money to pay off or something. So, debt. There's a lot of really good quotes by Thomas Jefferson about debt, basically, whenever I get depressed about it, I just take all my silver stack it on the lanai table and just stare at it for 15 minutes, and it makes me feel better. Yeah, well, nukes are kind of useless to use, but I guess people keep trying to build them anyway. It would be nice if we could have peace, love, and understanding, because it costs a lot less. It just never seems to work out that way. Judging from history. You know, but I mean, anyway. All right, so I don't know what everybody else has been doing. Have you managed to sell any of your 2 years of backlogged wheat, Dusty?
No, I still have it. Still speculating. One thing, we haven't had good weather here right now. It's not suitable to ship any grain.
Oh yeah, you can't put semis on your road yet. Well, it's spring. Is this the last day of winter or something now? Or
Technically, it is.
oh,
And it was a
First
nice day.
First day of spring.
Yeah, a decent day today.
good. Sun was out, snow was melting. All right, soon you'll be able to move your grain. If hopefully if commodity prices don't go straight down. I mean, I don't know which way oil is going, but yeah. So people here are like, very anti-GMO. They had a bill, like Monsanto tried to like buy an election because somebody had like an anti-GMO bill against Monsanto who was doing some farms in Maui, and they spent like millions and millions of dollars. But Maui's a pretty small island, and it's just like they lost the election like big time, and so, but they took it to court and they got the whole, anti-GMO voter bill, overturned in court, it's unconstitutional or something, but I don't know. Well, it's really great that the good news, we have Neil Gorsuch, that conservative judge, appeared on his first day of confirmation hearings, and I listened to him talk for a little while, and he seemed to be a pretty rational, constitutional is important kind of a person. So, kind of very happy about that. As far as everything else, I guess some of Trump's tweets about Obama aren't working out well for him, but I don't know, what's the penalty for bad tweeting? I don't know. Man, but so let's see. I don't know what else to stock up on. I got our plenty of ammo. I've got so I'll have 3 gas mask filters. I don't know if that'll be enough, but hopefully I won't need them. Might buy a tourniquet. Yeah, the liberals are always, they're butthurt about losing the election, Garand not getting hearing, Clinton being, really, President Hillary Clinton, are you kidding me? I mean, hey, it was really funny if one of the guys on Fox News says, yeah, the Hawaii judge that they found hanging out smoking pot at a surf shop, overturned Trump's second immigration executive order, but, I don't know how long that'll last for. I don't know how long it takes for them to, have the vote in the Congress and the Senate to confirm Neil Gorsuch as give us a conservative majority, and then start appealing all those all the anti-gun rulings from the federal appellate courts if they don't break up the Ninth Circuit completely, but which probably. They'll leave Hawaii in it if they do, unfortunately. But
well, I read that the judge from Hawaii was also a classmate of Obama's in college.
They're hanging out smoking pot together. Yeah, pot.
Yeah.
Answer Orange Bull's question, the external on YouTube. Medical marijuana is legal. You can get a medical marijuana card, but recreational isn't. Not that that stops anybody. When I first moved here, it seemed like everybody but me, smoked pot, So, anyway, I can't smoke anything anymore. I had some heart issues, so for health reasons, I can't smoke anything. And even secondhand smoke, bad for me. So, but it's medical marijuana. You can get a blue card, a legal card, and I think you're allowed to grow, if you apply for one of those cards, 2 plants. And they've actually have a bill that to allow corporate, medical marijuana dispensaries. So what happens is, doctors from the mainland come out here, pay for their vacation by writing, prescriptions to people that, don't have a medical need for it, but like I said, that doesn't really stop anybody. They do fly helicopters over and do, try and, they have federal funding to, kill marijuana grows up in the jungle. Like where I was chopping with my machete at that time, there was a helicopter flying over that was probably a DLNR, looking for marijuana grows up there. So, and people always have like the no spray, painted on their roofs over there. Oh, you have a vending machine? What state do you live in, UP? Colorado? Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, I don't know what else I should prep for. They should have a vending machine with like gas mask filters. That would be useful. Because UP is in Michigan too. Oh, okay. So all right.
What? No. What? Vending machines for pot in Michigan?
Not yet.
I haven't seen any. No, I haven't seen any. But I can tell you, I drove into Colorado from Nebraska, and as soon as I got across the border, they had a Subway and a dispensary. So, right as soon as you got across the border, very first exit, they had a Subway, a gas station, and a marijuana dispensary. But
oh man.
That's Colorado for you.
And they should also have like a gun shop next in between all of those.
There's supposedly gun shops in Colorado, but I don't know where they're at.
Okay, UP says he lives in Marquette, Michigan. All right.
Mark.
I'm afraid I don't know Michigan, but I guess Dusty and Squib do. So
I snowmobile there, but I've never seen one there. So
yeah.
You were snowmobiling and you didn't find a marijuana machine. Okay.
Nope.
That would make such a great video. Just snowmobiling up to a marijuana machine, the vending machine, and a quarter, getting back on the machine.
I know Michigan is battling over that right now, though. There's a lot of controversy over what type of stores we should have and how it should be sold. They passed the law, but they really never put anything in on how to distribute it and sell it.
Yeah, they basically what happened is some corporate interest paid off a congressman, my representative, to get this thing put, in front of the, health and, committee or whatever. And so they got it passed. So basically these corporations can come in and make a ton of money. It still is illegal for like regular people to grow any, but and if you have a blue card for medical marijuana use, then you could like have like 2 plants or something for your own personal use. But obviously they take out commercial grows, and so it's like but you have to pay like $3 million a year for the license or something. So only some big corporation is gonna open a marijuana dispensary. And I kept, whenever anybody brings it up, I saying if they wanted those telescopes approved, and they should have just made it designed like marijuana dispensaries in the telescopes up on the mountain, then nobody would protest them.
Are you reading this? Enter medical card, enter credit card, and bang, you get a joint. Okay, so I thought they got rid of the cigarette machines and put in the marijuana machines. Okay,
well,
sure.
it kind of works that way in Pahoa, Hawaii. On the east tip, there's this like town like that stopped moving in the 50s. They tore down the corrugated tin shacks, but like there's outside of the Bank of Hawaii, in the middle of town, there's Bank of Hawaii, and there's like the ATM machine, and there's like 5 guys selling pot right by the ATM machine. Because that's where the money is. It's like, so people go there, take out money, and then they're accosted by 5 guys trying to sell them weed. So,
it's possible he's telling the truth, because the way the state of Michigan left the law, it was up to the local communities to decide how to sell it. It's possible that Marquette decided they were just going to put it in a vending machine and sell it.
All right. Well, whatever works. It's, I guess, a state issue. That's what ways people look at it. But, you know.
And Orange Pit Bull.
But I'm just saying what he's saying is highly possible. He's right.
Yeah. One machine for the whole Upper Peninsula. Orange Pit Bull is saying Colorado's having issues with out-of-state people growing in-state and trafficking to other states. Are they bringing high-capacity magazines back across the border?
High-capacity magazines and bags of marijuana. You know, I've seen that show. You know, like I've seen that show. One of those shows on TV. You know, when they, you know, the highway patrol is pulling people over or trying to, you know, arrest people who are trafficking that. But, you know, when they do it, whenever it's on TV, you know, it's like they just, I can't believe people are so stupid that they actually talk to the police. You know, I mean, you know, you're not, if you're doing something illegal, don't talk to the police. You're just like, you know, it's like you're digging your own grave. I mean, you know, and it's like they totally, I've never seen one tell them that they have the right to remain silent because they want to, you know, they want to keep talking because it's on television. They have to have something to show, you know, so the police are questioning these people who have the right not to say anything. And they're just babbling on, you know, and I'm just going, God, why doesn't anybody read them their rights, you know? And it's like, you know, and because I know that I've seen police question people over here, and that, you know, they'll start out with, these are your rights. Do you want to talk to me? And that, you know, and first, and obviously on these TV shows, people just keep babbling and babbling, and nobody ever reads them their rights. So I don't know, you know, but. Prohibition really doesn't work, you know, but, you know, I really wouldn't want, you know, my children to just start smoking pot because they could get it from a vending machine, you know, but whatever.
So what they'd have to do is steal grandma's credit card and her medical marijuana card and then go down to the machine and get it.
Well, why don't they just use that? I guess, I don't know. Isn't there like a house on every block anyway, like a party house where everybody goes to get stoned anyway? I mean, you know, what do you need a vending machine for? You know, but what do I know? There hasn't been a system that's really worked, you know. And dime bags aren't what they used to be, from what I've seen. $10 doesn't buy much, and you could thank that to too much money printing. I mean, I remember when I was a teenager, dime bags used to be big. But, you know, that was a long time ago before, you know, when dinosaurs roamed the earth. So I think nobody's ever done a video like complaining about the shrinking dime bag and blamed it on, you know, the Federal Reserve. So
if you find a way to link the two, people will watch.
Okay. I mean, well, I'll have to think about how to do that because, you know, I don't actually. I'm sure I could just put some grass, clip some grass, and put it in a baggie. And dime bag used to be this big when I was a kid, and I'd play with it. Then cut to the picture of the Federal Reserve, you know. But anyway,
just get some oregano.
Oregano? I don't even have that much oregano, man. That would be expensive.
You can buy it in bulk at Sam's Club.
Yeah, you know,
you probably don't. Do you have a Sam's Club on the island?
No, we have a Costco, and they have bulk orders.
Okay.
In the past, when I bought stuff, sometimes, you know, like I bought some taco seasoning once in like a big container, but after a few months, there was like bugs in it growing. So I think there were some eggs in it, you know, that didn't get irradiated or something, you know, and it's like, I had to throw the whole fucking thing out, you know, because who wants bugs in their tacos, right? But so I just buy it in a sealed. Now I just buy those sealed bags of it. I don't buy the bulk herbs from Costco because, you know, I don't think they're irradiated. So there's, you know, they need to kill the eggs. Oh, Feinstein kept bringing up gun control on the Gorsuch hearings. God, that's terrible. they're going to lose anyway. I mean, they know this guy's going to be approved, and they're going to save their ammunition for the next, federal judge. I mean, and for Obamacare repeal, they'll save their ammo for that, and for this one, they're not going to. They can't fight everything all at once. I mean, they lost. They lost the election. Elections have consequences. We have to put up with Obama for 8 years, so. Now they have to put up with Trump for at least 4, and skateboards. What do skateboards have to do with anything? I'm trying to read the externals, make sense of it. I've already got so much ammo, UP Gardner. Yeah, I always buy ammo, I need to go to the gun shop and talk ammo with the guy over at Kona Guns, because I picked up, I got my first Apocalypse, the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse coin, the white Horse of Conquest one. And I think next week they're releasing the Golden State Mint is releasing the Pale Horse of Death coin. I'm going to get a bunch of those, man. Okay, well, hey, have fun sparking up there, UP. So I got some calipers from the coin place. I got it. Which coin? I don't use just one. I think I got these from. Let's see, was it Provident or SD Bullion or something? I got it from Airtights. Because I wanted to get some, none of the coin vendors sell the 5-ounce bar capsules. Basically, I put all my coins and capsules in Airtights. It's basically this acrylic capsule that, plastic acrylic that kind of protects the coins from, being damaged and stuff. So, you can scratch up the acrylic and it doesn't hurt the coin or the bar. So, I bought some of that, and they had some calipers and some plastic tongs you could grab a coin with and stuff, and not hurt it if you want to dip it in like a cleaning solution. So Airtights has their own website, so you can check that out if you have coins and don't want to get scratched up. That's what I use. I think I've got one for everything. They make most sizes. But I got the calipers so I can measure coins, and I got a scale and stuff. So to weigh them. So and I had a problem at the range where one of the lethal fusion ammunition rounds, which is there's skivved bullets and in brass casing for 7.62 by 39 that I've been using in my CZ 527 rifle, bolt action rifle. It wouldn't seat for some reason, and I don't know why it wouldn't seat. So I brought it back to him, and he just gave me a discount on another box or something of it. So I'll bring the calipers over, and we'll measure it, compare it to all the other ones from Lethal Fusion. We've got a pretty good rep. I think I bought some Lethal Fusion and 357 too while I was there, and some other stuff. So yeah, I've got all the fucking ammo I need pretty much. I mean, more is always better, but I think
you got a scale and a set of calipers. Those are 2 tools you use for reloading. You're on your way to it.
Well, but those are 2 tools you also use in coin collecting. So that's why. But I'm going to go and measure the actual casing to see if it was the same as. I don't know. They have a website. Lethal Fusion has a website, Orange, about their ammunition. It looks pretty high end. So I was kind of surprised when that one round didn't seat. I just took it out, marked it with a Sharpie, and kept on shooting all the rest of the ammo, which didn't have any problems. So I'm presuming the casing was just not was abnormal, not to size, which is why hopefully the calipers will. Tomorrow I'll go down to the gun shop and I gave it to him, so he's keeping it. And I know he doesn't have calipers of his own. And I got him to measure, the diameter of coins. Some are 39 millimeters and some are 40 millimeters, and so it helps to know if I'm gonna, especially if I'm gonna buy any airtight acrylic capsules, what size to order. But maybe I don't know if I should make a video of my my coin and bar collection. It's getting big, but there's been some talk about what's going to happen. If there's one of the silver pumper channels, was like they might confess if the debt bubble pops and the economy is going to crash, then they'll do what FDR did with the Gold Act and demand that everybody turn in their gold and silver and declare it a strategic metal. And then everybody was like, so I think I got like 200 thumbs up with my comment that I left on that video, which was, before they take my silver, they'll have to take my lead. I think it got like 200 thumbs up in like less than a day. So there's a lot of people that are, serious about their precious metals and don't want to give it up. But yeah, I don't know. I've already got so damn much. I mean, I guess you can never have enough silver, and never show it. Yeah. Well, I will make a video just of the 4 Horse of the Apocalypse coins, though, because they're pretty cool. But I'll wait till I actually get the Pale Rider of Death coin. The Pale Horse of Death. The White Horse of Conquest is like a rider with a sword and a bow and arrow, and it's on the front, and on the back it's got like the 4 horses of the apocalypse. It's put out by Golden State Mint, and lead ammo. Yeah, lead is SD Bullion sells ammo too. Usually I have Tula ammo, and the CZ can fire steel casings. It doesn't need the brass, but I just figured it's got the skiv hunting bullets. So, and the CZ's 18.5-inch barrel, and I'm getting really good with it. I didn't shoot any video. I did put some video of me and the AK, but like I said in like the last chat, is the more you practice with your bolt action, and practice your trigger control, and you kind of take your time and get your breathing right and all that stuff, the better you get with all your other because all your other rifles and guns, because it's the same skill and it transfers over to other rifle platforms. So I like shooting my bolt action though, and it's fun. I know you guys do too. We talked about that last week. But yeah, in between North Korea, they've got some new missiles, high power missile launch that they did a launch of, and I think Rex Tillerson went over there, and he said that the first strike, a first strike is on the table. A preemptive strike, could happen. So I think he went over to China to tell them they better deal with their Korean, North Korean leader there, so we don't have to, But and I don't know if China's going to take the United States seriously. They never have, But it only takes one nuclear weapon to fucking ruin everybody's day. I mean, you can imagine what'll happen to the stock market if if there's a nuclear explosion anywhere on any city. So, and I don't need my silver to go up in value that bad. But I don't have any control over who throws and who, authorizes the release of nuclear weapons. But yeah, I've got a lot of 7.62 by 39. Most of it's Tula, I've got soft points, full metal jacket, Tula. I did want to get the brass casings and the skiv. I definitely would have to. The hunting regs means you have to use soft points or some kind of hunting round. You can't use full metal jacket in hunting areas, and that's all we have. And until I build that, survival compound with a helicopter pad, guard towers, and and all the other fun jungle stuff. we were looking at. I think we were looking at some stuff in the lobby and like a generator. You were there. You were there in the lobby, Dusty, right? But yeah, I know you have to bail out at a certain point.
Yeah, I was.
All right. You missed the after chat though. After off-air stuff with me and Bob and G Webs and Hosh arguing about F-35s and you know, it's like, what do you know about combat, air combat? You can't even fly a Cessna and all that shit. It was funny. That's part of the charm of gun channels. Lots of ICBMs, irrational, chattering, babbling mouths or motherfuckers, whatever you want. It's all fun. Anyway, all right. So I don't know.
Trying to screen share something I did fun today, but how to do it. I had to go to Kalamazoo, and I stopped at the new Field and Stream store in Kalamazoo. And that's a very nice store. I enjoyed going in there and shopping for a while.
Okay, I have something I wanted to screen share. Let me see if I can figure out how to do it. Because at Schofield Barracks on Oahu, they've established a new jungle warfare school. Because I guess the previous one was in Panama, and we gave that back to Panama. Can you guys see this picture?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So basically, I think they had an article because they didn't have any jungle combat after they closed the one in Panama and returning the land to the Panamanians after the Operation Just Cause, where they took out Noriega. So they had to go and build a new one at Schofield Barracks, and where they could practice all their stuff. And they had to send the instructors. They had to dig up all the old jungle combat manuals, because the last two wars have been in Afghanistan and in Iraq, and that's in the desert, not in the jungle. And I know Obama had a big Asian shift. So basically, my takeaway from jungle survival tip is that you have to keep your feet dry and your socks dry when you get done at the end of the day, because your feet don't. There's an article, in the Associated Press about this place at Schofield Barracks, that they built this. Those some carabiners and somebody's crossing a rope bridge, it looks like, with a bunch of gear. And man, his rifle's underwater. That sucks. But anyway, basically your feet don't heal if you have blisters or bruises or cuts. They won't heal unless they're dry. If they're wet, they won't heal. So, and obviously, if you're walking around, you can't do that. If your feet are done, then you're done. So, first thing, the most important thing to do, jungle combat tip, is keep your feet dry and your socks dry. After you clean them, or else you won't be able to walk around and you will be done. So. There's your jungle survival tip of the day, I guess. All right. Any other apocalypse news that we should be talking about? So that's let's see, the 25th Army Division, I think, across the stream in a rainforest. Let's see. So reading this article. The Army sent soldiers to military jungle schools in Brazil, Brunei, and other tropical spots to reacquire long-lost skills. Instructors in training pored over old Army jungle manuals. We had to relearn everything, said Sergeant Lopez. Oh, all right. So that's about all I got on that one. And I got to do those beer reviews still, but I can't really I have to wait till after the my blood test tomorrow. So I'm just gonna have some blood tests done. No big deal. Then as soon as I get done, I'm gonna stop by the pool and get some free beer, and then start doing beer reviews.
long have you been on your current meds?
Since March 4th, I think, last year. Since March 4th of a year ago.
It's probably time that you change to a different med. That's probably what they're going to tell you tomorrow.
Well, no, tomorrow they're going to tell me anything except we're going to stick you with a needle and, do some tests on your blood,
Well, after they do your blood work, they're probably going to switch you.
I don't know.
Because most high blood pressure medicines have a short life.
I wouldn't know. I'll leave that to the medical people, Basically, I just went in because the health insurance company said it's time to go in, and of course they gave me a depression screener. They're giving all of their patients a depression screening, form to fill out, for my healthcare company did, just check no for everything except the one that they knew I was having a little problems because sleeping, because I did a sleep study. But other than that, I just checked no on everything. So, but it's that's one thing you want to, if you check yes too many times, you will never get approved for firearms. So if they think you're depressed, but boy, I'm not depressed. I'm happy to be alive anyway. So, but be careful what questions you answer at a doctor's office. But other than that, did we have any Second Amendment news going on? I think there was something in the 11th or 4th district that I saw.
On the Daily Gun Show today, they were talking about another WhiteHouse.org petition. It's to bring back the M1 Garands from South Korea. We already did that, but I guess there's a new petition for the same thing, so I signed it again.
Okay, I'll get on there and do that too. I mean, we're sending them a THAAD Theater High Altitude Defense Missile System, so we ought to get our M1s back for that.
Mm-hmm.
And China's not happy about that, but whatever.
Well,
there's so much.
That's good.
Yeah, a lot of M1s are good rifles. I wouldn't mind adding one to my collection, but it's probably a great jungle rifle too.
I like mine.
You don't have the car. You have a full size M1, not the carbine.
Yeah, I've got a M1 Garand or Garand. I mean, however you want to say it. No, I don't have an M1 carbine. I've never shot an M1 carbine, but one day I'd like to have one. They're making reproductions down in Ohio. Inland Manufacturing, they got their name from the company that used to be part of General Motors back in the 40s that was making M1 carbines. So they're making, they're using the company name, but they're making them down in Ohio. So I'm thinking about getting one of the modern reproductions.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we got going on? Okay, we covered that Schofield Barracks jungle training. Mo Lot went bankrupt. Yeah, I got some stuff from the Firearms blog about some firearms bankruptcies. Did Remington? No, it wasn't Remington. Somebody else went bankrupt.
No, Colt's about to. Colt's going to lose its. I think they're going to end up getting. They're going to be bought by another holdings company or something, and it'll make it worse. Remington's probably right behind them.
Yeah, somebody will buy it for its name. I mean, Colt's a pretty big name, and they can capitalize on it. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, but they get these investment groups that buy them because they have equipment and they have a popular name. They've been out there and they run them into the ground. And I would like to see Colt succeed, and I'd like to see Remington start making good firearms again. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, like I said, I was impressed with the CZ factory. You know, I mean, I know it's not in America, but you know, I mean, I think they have one factory in America too. But I mean, the main one is in Czechoslovakia, obviously. But and that city that I had problems pronouncing last week, I wrote it down. Find a piece of paper. Yeah, Uherski Brod, over in Czechoslovakia. Well, the whole economy is, and it's not just Colt that's in trouble, it's a lot of companies. So unless you make GMO corn, which I guess there is a never-ending demand for, or Jack Daniels, which is there's also a never-ending demand for.
Never
I
tried
guess
that.
alcohol. You never had Jack Daniels and Jack and Coke? Oh man. Well, Jack and Coke is pretty much a classic. And I think alcohol is another good thing to prep for the apocalypse. So probably go to Costco and pick up some vodka and maybe some Jack. They sell those extra huge bottles. You know, like a great thing to have for the apocalypse.
Nothing more. It's a good disinfectant.
Yep. I mean, I got that Germex stuff, you know, that they use in the, you know, in case there's a global pandemic, you are going to want some Germex, you know, hand sanitizer stuff that's, you know, mostly alcohol based. I forgot. Yeah, there's a big in China. They're having a you know, H1N1 avian, you know, chicken bird flu is going around again, you know, and that's like a scary pandemic if it ever, you know, jumps from human to human or becomes airborne somehow. That would be pretty bad. And they're having another outbreak in China with that H1N1 virus. Mostly that transfers from chicken to humans, you know, but with people who butcher poultry, you know, from the blood, you know, with chicken blood. And so I don't think it's gone from human to human yet or gone airborne yet from human to human, but it would be a bad pandemic if it did. I think I might go to Home Depot and get some extra water filters for my reverse osmosis under the sink and maybe just some like, you know, inexpensive, you know, like painting masks and stuff in case there's a pandemic. I think it might be cool. You don't need the full, you know, gas mask. Deep frying kills germs. Yes. Well, deep frying kills my arteries too. So eating deep fried food kills my arteries, unfortunately. So I've got to try and eat so healthy. It's not even funny. So, but anyway, anybody got anything else?
Don't worry about the corn syrup. It won't kill you.
No.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I just hope they find a vein because, you know, so when I was in the hospital for like a couple of months, you know, every day at 4:30 in the morning, some cute girl would, you know, knock on my bed and goes, "Hey, Steve, can I please draw some blood?" At 4:30 every morning, vampires show up for blood, you know, it's just like, and so now whenever I go in, they can't find a vein anymore because like 2 months of getting jabbed with a needle, there's no veins left, you know, so. You know, they always have to call the experts in, but, you know, I'm sure they'll figure out how to draw blood. I'll just tell them, whichever pretty girl they send to me this time, it'll be, make sure, you know, call the best, you know, vampire you have because my veins are gone deep. They're hiding from like people because people kept poking me for 2 months in a row.
Here's a healthy tip.
What's that?
I said my wife talks about that with some of her patients. They've been poked so many times that she has a hard time finding veins too. So that's not an uncommon problem.
Yeah. So CZ is coming to DFW this weekend. What's DFW?
Dallas Fort Worth.
Dallas Fort Worth. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not an expert on anachronisms. All right. Well, hey, 3 cheers for Texas. That CD has some really incredible, machining, CNC machining capabilities. I was very impressed with. I mean, you can go on the internet and look at their factory tours, and they've been making in Czechoslovakia. They've been making guns since 1936 or something like that. So, and they also do CNC machining for aircraft parts and automobile parts, and they ship all around the world. So, I was impressed with the factory tour videos that I saw on the internet of them. And I really love my CZ 527 rifle, and I like shooting it. I wish I could just roll out bed every day and take a few shots, but I have to drive up to hunting area and dodge bullets and stuff like that.
So let's see, Czechoslovakia, Prague. Yeah.
It's not in Prague.
No.
It's in. I pronounced it Uherský Brod. I didn't. I know I did. I wrote it down like it sounds, not like how to spell it right.
Yeah, I see. I see where. Yeah. Yeah. Uherský Brod. Yeah, about 4.5 hours from Prague. Well, then why did the heading say Prague? Okay, yeah, that's definitely not.
Because nobody knows how to pronounce Uherský Brod. That's why. Prague has hot chicks. Hey, hot chicks, hot rifles. It's a good combination. But they
got good Czech beer over there too.
Czech beer. Okay. Beer, Czech. Czech beer. That would be a good brand. Just put a check mark on the beer. Czech beer. So yeah, I picked up some IPA to test from Kona Brewing Company called Hanalei IPA beer, and the date on the bottle says February. So how you said it's good for how many months before the hops flavor goes away?
About 3 months, so you'll be good with that one.
All right, so yeah, that's going to be on my up and coming beer reviews for all my beer review fans. So
your Kona coffee beer brewed in Tennessee with water formulated to be the same as the kind of water that's in Hawaii.
Is that what you bought?
No, that's that article that you were talking about. I read it. It said that it's all brewed on the mainland.
No, the mainland beer is brewed on the mainland. The Hawaii beer that they sell here is brewed in Hawaii. That's what they were claiming. But saves on shipping costs, I imagine. On account of they had.
They can charge $9 for a 6-pack pen.
Look, money makes the world go around, and it makes it. You can't expect free beer unless you intimidate the resident manager at your condo.
I pay less for a 6-pack of beer that came from the Czech Republic.
Which I could go online, or I could go to my program right now, and I could tell you what add to our Michigan water to make it taste the same as a beer made in Hawaii. Computer software to do it. I'd probably kill the chat if I tried to kill my chat if I tried to open that software. But
we'll keep that for off air. After the chat, we'll talk more beer. Yeah. So, is there any other stuff? Pineapple juice. Well, I guess you could stockpile canned pineapple juice for the apocalypse. Yeah, I might go hit Walmart, and I have to pick up. They want me to monitor my blood pressure for 5 days, so I have to go buy like a blood pressure monitor at Walmart. So I'll go pick up some, canned food and more beer and stuff like that. I mean, I've got a lot of beer already. I don't drink that much, so I'll have to make an effort to increase my beer consumption. So are you guys doing any prepping? Do you guys do much prepping over there in Michigan? Or I know you both have families, right? So, I mean.
Now myself, my prepping is
You faded out there, Dusty. What?
He was just saying go ahead and talk. He stopped talking so you could talk first.
I think he dropped off. He might have the same problem my computer had last week. I talked to my brother today, and I found out he's got a bug out bag. I didn't even know.
Cool. Do you have a bug out bag?
Am I back yet?
You're bugging in? All right. Well, I mean, of course, something could happen, and you could have to bug out, but, like, and then where I live, if there's a huge tidal wave that's like 400 feet or something, that I'd have to bug out. But,
if it's so bad that we got to bug out, then we're just going to die because there's no way to get out of here. The streets would be plugged up with people trying to get out.
That is
can't drive on a normal day. In the apocalypse, they definitely can't drive.
Yeah, and of all the Russian driving videos I've seen, I just can't imagine anybody in Russia trying to bug out because they're all fucking crazy. The first time anybody gets into a car wreck, they'll start fighting with knives and machetes or AKs.
Yeah.
At every fender.
They're better off just raiding a vodka warehouse and just going for it at that point.
Yeah. So yeah, in Hawaii, I think if we're the reason to bug out would be okay if there's a big tidal wave and you have to head for high ground. If the volcano blows up, then and there's a big pyroclastic expulsion from the volcano into the air, then you don't have a choice. You have to bug out. So I think it's useful to have a bug out bag. And I just throw everything I can into the car, and then head to wherever seems safe. Or like go to the harbor and steal a boat and head out to sea, if I have to. But there aren't a lot of boats there. They'd be gone before I got there if something really bad happened. So, but I only live like 5 miles from the harbor, so I think it would.
I don't see anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with having a bug out bag. I just don't have one. We're bugging in.
Well, it's nice to have options, but okay.
Well, that's the same with me.
Thanks for showing up, Orange.
Here at home that I want.
Well, you got a gigantic farm. You could have a warehouse full of. You have like 2 years worth of grain harvested that you can't sell. You can't sell because the prices are too low. Basically, that's it. The commodity prices are just down.
No, you just won't buy it because it's GMO.
No, I just been eating the market, trying to make as much as I can. I've really held it too long. But sometimes you gamble and you lose. This time I gambled and I lost.
So the prices have gone down since you harvested it?
Not in that sense. It's just, it needs to be sold. I just got to get it done someday. Once you forget about it.
Yeah, it's like all the shit I have in storage from my old recording studio. It's probably worth a small fortune, and it's just been sitting there, and I've been paying storage fees for 10 years.
Truck it down to Toledo and load it onto a Russian cargo ship.
Well, I do have vacuum tube gear. Some vacuum tube gear. They still use vacuum tubes in Russia quite a bit. So.
A lot of grain to Toledo. But I haven't sent much to Toledo lately.
And I bet it ended up on a Russian cargo ship.
It probably did. Most of what I sell now goes to Fort Wayne rail car that probably ends up somewhere along the coast. So
China buys a lot of U.S. food and grains and stuff, don't they?
Really?
They do, yes. China is probably, and that's part of the reason our markets are off right now, is because
Oh.
China really hasn't stepped up and been buying anything lately. They step in and start buying again, prices go up again.
It's so hard to predict what the hell's going to happen. I mean, in between the debt bubble and wars and, in the Middle East and the South China Sea.
But that's part of the problem. Right now, China's money situation is worse than ours.
Yep.
And that's kind of what's holding the markets down, is because our dollar is worth more than theirs right now, and they can't step in and buy much.
Yeah, it's like, the dollar keeps getting stronger and stronger. And boy, somebody on Bloomberg said something that really, it was so stupid. It's like they were saying, the dollar is getting really strong, but and that's part of the problem. And what they said that really pissed me off was that, and whenever the dollar goes up, gold goes down, because they have this relationship where. And then he said that gold is like a quasi currency. Like an idiot. Gold is not a currency. Gold is money. It's not a currency. The dollar is a currency. Gold is actual money. But anyways, what do you expect from Bloomberg TV? So Patrick wants to know anything about Delton and 308 16-inch AR. Is 16-inch long enough barrel for 308? You think?
I don't have any experience with a 308 platform on an AR. I don't have any AR-10 experience, and I haven't heard anything bad about Delton. As a matter of fact, my next build, I want to get some Delton parts and build one. They're manufactured in North Carolina.
Have you done a lot of AR builds?
Just Armalite, FN, and Anderson. I haven't done a Delton yet, and I had thought about buying one of those Bear Creek Arsenal ARs too, just to mess around with, because they're so cheap, and maybe down the road I'll see something at a gun show to catch my eye, and there'll go all my gun money. So.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to, it's horrible to go to a gun show if you don't have any money at all in your pockets. Because you can't buy anything, if you see, something catches your eye, you can't do anything about it. So, or if there's some great hot smoking deal, you can't do anything about it. So.
Clay's over on the Gun Channel side. He said he's got a 20-inch Delton AR-15.
Oh, 20-inch barrel. Okay. And
yeah.
Did he say it was 308 or 308 or?
That's AR-15. That'll be 5.56. The AR-10 is the 308.
Oh. Okay. I'm a Tavor guy. What do I know? I'm just relaying questions around.
I don't have any experience with the 308 and in an AR platform, so I'm not gonna say anything one way or the other, because I might be giving out bad advice.
I think this Sunday, American Heroes Channel had another aliens invasion show on for the How the World Ends. I thought, but they covered that like the week before or something. How many, like 2 alien invasions in a row? And it was about aliens abducting people and mixing their DNA with alien DNA and stuff. I was like, oh great. I don't want to talk about that. But I think I need to stop. Go ahead.
We got it's cut off here. It looks like it says yesterday's homemade. Yeah, forgive me. For some reason or other, it's cut off on my screen. He says he's got a Palmetto State AR-10, and it seems to work fine. So there's some gun channels chiming in that he's got a lot of experience with an AR-10.
So yeah, that's not Delton. That's Palmetto State Armory from South Carolina. I believe.
Yeah. Palmetto State Armory is really it's just FN, and I've got FN parts on my Armalite lower, and they work fine. FN was a government contractor. Everybody thinks Colt made all the M16s, but they didn't. Colt made them, Bushmaster made them, FN made them.
Okay. I have to get back to gun channels. Okay, I got the gun channel screen up, so I'm trying to monitor everything all at once. And
Clay says that he thinks the Delton is entry-level quality. That's all I'm looking for. If I need to modify it, I'll modify it. But if it's mil spec for me, that's what I trained with in the service. So that's what I like to work with. If I want to put commercial parts on it and upgrade or whatever, that's then it's a project. I'm fine with that. That's part of the fun of the AR platform. So you can plug targets all day long at 500 meters with a mil spec AR. And for the people that say, oh, well, yeah, with a scope, no, with iron sights, it's that good of a rifle. It doesn't mean right out of the box you're going to do it. It takes practice, but it's totally capable of doing it. So.
Okay, shout outs to everybody over in Gun Channels, gunchannels.com. It's if you're into guns, it's a really interesting website. It's free to join, and there's a lot of good chats going on all the time from a lot of different gun type channels, and there's always a lobby open most of the times. So say hello to, let's see, Group on Walsh, Cycle Camp. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Enrique. My screen is like freaking out on Gun Channels. I came back and Gun Channels had crashed when I came back from like the hot tub or whatever. And it's really funny. Some 3-year-old kids were shooting at some other 3-year-old kids and they weren't 3, they were like 8 or something like that, with squirt guns. And so, one stuck his feet in the hot tub, put in his hands over the edge, and he pointed his squirt gun at me. So I said, "Don't shoot." And then I wound up like teaching him the 3 rules of gun safety, with a squirt gun. So it was funny. And then another kid came over and he said, "Wait, can you teach me too?" So that was pretty funny. Teaching a couple of kids with squirt guns about gun safety, but so then they asked me,
gun safety is gun safety.
Yeah, so then they asked me if I would teach them anything else, and yeah, the aliens are working on GMO on GMO humans. That basically they're kidnapping. The show on the last American Heroes channel, How the World Ends, was aliens coming in, kidnapping humans and then impregnating them with alien DNA, stuff like that, So you would have these. So apparently the theory is that there are these, they're infiltrating Earth instead of trying to take it over. So there's alien human crossbreeds running around. Like, that's just too weird. Listening to all those people were really weird. And then there's this one guy who makes these special caps because the aliens use telepathic mind control to control the people. So he makes these special caps that that block alien telepathic wave frequencies or something like that. I was like,
were they tinfoil hats?
Well, literally, that they call them tinfoil hats, but it was some specific material. I don't remember what it was. I wasn't taking notes because the whole thing, all the people that they were interviewing sounded crazy to me. But if I was abducted by an alien, that would probably drive me crazy. But so if you see someone and you're not sure if they're an alien and part human, I don't know if there's a test for that. But maybe an alien is in charge of Monsanto, or Bayer.
I'm trying to think of tests from movies. Either you could ask at the capital of Texas, or you could poke it with a hot rod and see if it jumps out of the petri dish.
I'll wait for Donald Trump to start tweeting about Area 51. But what else was I going to say? This is Ron Swanson's area of expertise. So I don't know where in the universe Ron Swanson is with Man the Fuck Up Fridays or Saturdays and into the foxhole. But he's absent without leave at this point, So either if the Illuminati hasn't got him or the UK government hasn't arrested him because I was on his chat talking about gun rights or something over in the UK. I don't know if Scotland's going to leave the UK, or I don't know if it would be good or bad or indifferent, but the EU is like, boy, it's getting crazy over there too. So who knows? There's just so many balls being juggled up in the air right now. At some point, I don't know. It just seems like being prepared is a pretty good idea, generally speaking. In Hawaii, if the boats stop coming, there'll be a mad panic for food, and then there'll be people going door to door, knocking down doors, stealing food and shit like that. So, but let's hope none of that happens. I like having the grid up. Grid up is good, even if it does suck. A lot of it sucks, but so yeah. So tomorrow it's Walmart for me and canned food and a blood pressure test kit, I guess. So they want me to keep track of my blood pressure for 5 days and let them know. And then they'll do the blood tests tomorrow. And by the time the test gets back from the lab and they look for whatever the hell they're looking for, they'll know if they have to adjust my meds or not at all. So
are you going to do the wait, they're just drawing the blood. They're not taking your pressure, are they?
No, they're just drawing blood.
Okay, because I was going to say, if they're going to check your pressure, you might want to do that before you go to Walmart.
I could ask them to do that too.
The Walmart shoppers stress me out.
Well, sitting there waiting, and in my Walmart, they in front of the pharmacy, if you turn in, and you have to wait for them to fill out your prescription, it's like the place they have for you to sit is like I'm always staring at the female, the tampon aisle. There's just a whole row full of just tampons and female hygiene products, and it's like there's no guy stuff. It's just literally there's a bench and you're staring at a row of female hygiene products. It's like, why don't they put some magazines out or something, But so Enrique says he has stents put in on December 4th. So hey, I feel you, brother. I hope you had some good cardiac rehabilitation. That helped me a lot. A good cardiac rehabilitation program. I had a quadruple bypass, so that was a whole nother experience. I think you should listen to my Death Takes a Holiday lock and load from a few weeks back, but on that one, or watch the movie Death Takes a Holiday. Good movie. People have stents put in if their arteries are blocked. Basically, if they have, and then they can be opened up without, surgery. Because a stent is just basically they stick. How they do that is they stick a wire in your arm with a camera to look at at your heart from the inside. And if it's blocked but it's not too bad, then they can just prop it open. That's why, because Clay asked about that. And if they're blocked too much, then they have to saw your sternum in half and harvest some veins from your leg and bypass your clogged arteries. And so requires a bit more surgical skill. Yeah, my dad had his bypass when he was 59 and he's still going strong. He's like in his late 70s. I bet it did, man. Blood flow is, when you get better blood flow, it's like your whole life changes. And it helps if you, stop eating, like when my cardiologist asked me what I ate for dinner the night before I had to go to the hospital with heart problems, it was like I had ice cream sandwich, Doritos, and beer. I was like, well, what's wrong with that? I mean, I'm an American, right? I can do that. So anyway, yeah, cholesterol sticks to your arteries, and especially, everybody's body handles cholesterol differently, and so different kinds of lipids and stuff. Anyway, but yeah, it's and it all affects how much oxygen is in your blood, But anyway, I don't want to turn it into we were talking about that, me and Bob. It was like the old guys talking about their tickers chat, for a while in the lobby last night. So I'm not going to go there. Yeah, well, we all get old if we aren't too stupid. We get old, So it beats the alternative. So old guys with guns, right? That's me. So anybody want to plug anything, any Second Amendment stuff, or any stuff on gun channels or your channels, or anything interesting that before we close out the show this week?
I guess just sign that petition for the guns from South Korea to come back over here, and keep sharing information with fellow gun channels members. I've been getting a lot of good reload information from gun channels members, and it's very helpful. So I appreciate it.
Okay, what we'll do is I'll find the link to that after the show, and then I'll put it in the video description on this, so people can just click in the video description, and there'll be the link to the whitehouse.gov. So give me a little while after the show, the video processes on YouTube, and then I'll load that in. Okay. Yeah, as far as the female hygiene products on gun channels, CycleCam made a comment. I don't understand it either, but, like I said, I do think that female hygiene products will be a really big shit hits the fan selling barter item. Okay, the WhiteHouse.gov support Gorsuch nominee. He's going to get nominated. I'm pretty damn sure about that. Or he's going to get confirmed. I mean, he's already been nominated. He's going to get confirmed. And that'll be really good for gun rights in America. So it was everything else that happened today was like, nothing could bring me down. After hearing him talk, he sounds like, a really, Constitution is important. The law is important. If I like all my decisions, then I'm doing something. I'm a bad judge because I shouldn't like all my decisions. I'm supposed to follow the law. Sounds like a good judge to me. Okay. So somebody posted it in gun channels. WhiteHouse.gov/petitions allow U.S. citizens to purchase obsolete military rifles. Well, I don't know how obsolete an M1 Garand is, but
it's more or less the same as the one that we were talking about like a month and a half ago. It's the same thing. It's the M1s, the M1 Garands, M1 carbines, and 1911s.
So they had to repost it because they didn't get the 100,000 signatures the first time. Is that it?
I don't know. But if anybody's listening, you also have to go into your email the next day and confirm. So just signing it, which is real easy. First name, last name, email address. That's it. The next day they'll send you an email asking you to confirm. You go on it, you click it, and you're set. That's it. That's all there is to it.
All right, I'm going to try and throw that link right now in the video description. See if I was having copy and pasting problems earlier with Internet Explorer, but I think I got it. 13637. Hope I got the whole thing. If it's going to let me save changes. It's grayed out. I don't know if it lets you save changes while the chat is live, but I tried. Save changes. Yes, I clicked on it and it won't let me. It's just a gray thing. Flipping YouTube. All right. Well, I'll leave it. I'll get it on there eventually somehow, unless my computer crashes again. IE and Firefox freeze up. But all right, so we'll close this show out. It's been really fun as usual. Thanks, Squib and Dusty. If anybody has any ideas for next week, let us know. Leave a comment, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you want one here next week. And this has been the nuclear. What was this? The Apocalypse News Update. So there's my one sound effect besides my death bubble popping in my Glock.
I'm just glad you didn't clap your hands and say it's time for the tactical pop quiz. Oh.
Do you don't like the pop quiz? Because Sean wins every time. I gave up. You know, it's like, why bother? Sean always wins, you know. I mean, or him, or sometimes the other guy wins, but I never win.
Angry American.
Yeah, Angry American. Or
Sean is the oracle. Oh, G-Webs he's gonna tell Dano. Okay, tell him. I'll make it up to Dano. I'll send him a picture of a coffee pot.
All right, yeah. I wanted to tell Dano to go, if he's listening or if somebody's listening, tell him to go to check out Airtight's website to get, if he wants to get acrylic protective capsules for his coins and bars, because I know he's kind of getting into stacking silver and stuff. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. God bless America, and God bless gun channels and all the people, all the wonderful people that are out there fighting for freedom. And America's still worth fighting for. So fight the good fight, and keep your groups tight. Thanks. That's Edge's saying, so I'm stealing that from him. All right. See y'all next week. Find the termination button. You are terminated.